Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. On some Fat Albert shit. On some fucking weird shit. Yo, how we doing, huh? Dude, I'm excited to be back in this chair, bro. I love being in this chair. Let's just jump fucking right into today's podcast, bro. It's episode 11. We made it past the 10,000th. We fucking out here. We thriving and we making moves, bro. I'm excited to be in this chair. Let's just fucking touch on the elephant in the room. There's no negrito, baby. There's no negrito, baby. There's no inset. There's no pimp goblet. Where are the ingredients for the Freakquency podcast? Now that I'm thinking about it, where's the Freakquency podcast, bro? What are we watching? This is just the podcast now. Hey, guys. I'm your Floral. I'm not even Floral Father. I'm just some guy. Hey, guys. I'm some guy, and welcome back to the podcast. That's what it fucking feels like, bro. Damn. Solid explanations for all of this. Negrito, baby, grounded, on restriction. He's not allowed in this room, bro, because, oh my God, if you've been following the podcast for a while now, his superpower is chewing through cords, bro. He's the little electric cat. He's electro. He chews through cats. He chews through other cats. He's a cannibalistic cat. No, he chews through cords, and my girl was here literally like 2 days ago, and I was explaining to her why one of my episodes of the podcast had all this fuzz in the microphone. It was like after every time I talked. And I realized it was because Nugget had chewed through that cord, and the cord is quite literally hanging on by a thread, bro. By a fucking strand. The cord is hanging on by a strand that's keeping it together. If not, the shit would be in half. And if you even like finagle it weird, you get fuzz. So it's the cord I'm using right now, which has to be replaced, because if I even kick it down there, we're going to start getting all this distortion and feedback and all this shit. And as I'm explaining to my girl that situation, she's like, oh, is it this cord? And she pulls up that cord that connects to that microphone, and it was sawed in half, severed. And I was like, no, it wasn't that fucking cord, but thank you for telling me. Thank you for showing me that, because now I have to replace 2 fucking cords. So he chewed through that microphone. This microphone, I don't even know how it's still working. He's chewed through. So, bro, this cat is a big money pit right now. He's a financial burden, honestly. I love him to death. But he is a financial burden, so he's grounded until further notice, man. Like truly, I wish he could be here with us. I just have to cat-proof my room a little better and make it more entertaining. My girl was like, you need to get cat trees and cat toys and everything, because that's why he's chewing on shit. He's a baby, and he's fucking bored. So, of course, he's going to fuck all your shit up. How about you get him shit in this room to fuck up? And I keep telling my girl, baby, I don't run a fucking playpen for cats. I do not have a cat playground. That's not what my room is. This is a place of action. This is a place of business. This is where I take care of all my fucking passions and endeavors. And she's like, okay, baby, but you still have a cat. And that's like your kid. So you have to cater to him as well. As much as this isn't a cat playground, she always gets on my ass. I know you don't want this to be a cat playground, but you have to make it available and fun for your cat so he doesn't fuck your shit up. So, I want a massive shout out to my girl, because she cleared up all my cords on my production desk. So there's not a single cord on the floor. Everything's hidden and tucked away. Once I replace this, she's going to help me out with this. And I'm looking for cat trees and stuff right now to make this a more cat friendly environment. So hopefully we can move past this, because it's truly getting annoying at this point. So if we want Nugget back on this podcast, we got to make a couple renovations. So that's why he's not here right now. The incense, we all know, fucking assaults my nose, bro. That shit starts throwing hands with my fucking nose, and I'm over here more interested in what's happening up here than I am in what I'm saying. And then the Freakquency pimp gauntlet, bro. This is going to be so nasty and gross. I don't wash that thing after every use.
What did he say?
I finish my drink and I leave it there, and then I put the cap on. So it was getting all like moist and mildewy at the bottom, and I'm not gonna lie, it's growing some sort of fucking foreign dimension in there. Some sort of weird fucking germs and placenta and cell molecular structure is building in there, its own little fucking bacterial city. So I need to wash that thoroughly. I'm letting it air out right now. I took the cap off when I saw that, and I was like, this is a biohazard, bro. This shit could cause COVID 2022, bro. COVID 22. It could cause that. But yeah. Menace cat, menace incense, menace pimp gauntlet, bro. Everything's turning against me on this fucking podcast. But anyways, we are here and we're alive in the flesh. Now that we're looking past that, the grind don't stop. Ballin' but the shit don't stop. What's that fucking house track? Ballin' but the shit don't stop. Boom. That shit goes hard, bro. But for this podcast, man, it's episode 11, and I was looking back at all the other podcasts and all the laughs that we've had. We've had such a good time conversing and telling stories and all this stuff. But this is a self-improvement podcast, and that has been the one aspect of this podcast that has been neglected. Really. Because really what the last 10 episodes have been is me telling all these fucking crazy stories and Mr. Fantastic stretching the truth on all this shit to make it interesting and engaging and fun. And I've gotten a lot of great feedback from you, the listener, the audience, my friends, the support, and the people that actually listen to this podcast are telling me it's hilarious, yada, yada. And truly, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for that. But how am I going to say I run a self-improvement podcast and not have any self-improvement nuggets at all? I got some sprinkled in, but it's like, that's not a self-improvement podcast, bro. You have a comedy podcast with self-improvement elements. And so today, when I was thinking of what I wanted to talk about today, I was like, you know, I had a fun week. I went to Universal with my girl, and we watched a movie, and I saw some friends, and I did a lot of stuff. I just released a song. Like, I had a very packed week, and I could go into stories on that and stretch the truth and paint a whole fucking Oscar-winning movie for you guys on the podcast here. But it's like, am I being true to myself and what I started this podcast for in the first place? And then when I was at the gym today with Coco, I just recently started working out with Coco, the fucking man, the myth, the legend, his buff ass, bro. And we've been working out consistently together for the past like week, maybe. And fuck, man, I forgot how fun it is to work out with a friend. And I honestly, I apologize to Coco because we used to work out together all the time. But back in the day, bro, I didn't have the same goals and ambitions and aspirations that I have now on my physical physique and growth and what I want to carve and sculpt out of the body I want, you know? Because back in the day, I was like, oh, if I'm in the gym and I'm breathing the same air that the buff guys breathe, I'm going to get buff. That was like my mindset, you know? So I was fucking curling 15 pounds for 3 years, making no progress, making no gains, making no anything. And I was like, man, gym doesn't work. And I would work out with Coco, and he was like, nah, bro, you have to do it like this. You have to actually, you know, progressive overload, this. And I was so ignorant and just dumb at that time. I wasn't educated on gym culture and actual gym science to build a physique and to do all that stuff that I was like, whatever, it doesn't work. And then I just stopped working out with Coco, bro. And he kept at it. It's obvious because he has an amazing fucking physique. And I dropped off. And that was kind of my health and fitness journey, and my gym journey has always been like that. Sprinkly ass, broken consistency, and not enough drive, dedication. I wasn't pushing myself. I wasn't pushing myself to grow. It was too comfortable, and I wasn't working hard. I quite simply wasn't fucking working back in the day when I would work out with Coco. And now it's like I unlocked Coco as a gym partner again. Now Coco hit me up and he's like, yo, bro, I see you're hitting the gym consistently. You're actually making great progress. Like, let's get it. Let's work out again. And me and Coco, god fucking damn, bro. We're in there like Olympians, bro. We're in there like Arnold and his team from back in the day because we're pushing weight, bro. And it reminded me how fun it is to tackle a task with someone who is equally as motivated as you, you know? Because Coco has always had that grind and that drive and the ambition when it comes to health and fitness in the gym. And that kid can push up some weight, and that inspires me to want to push up weight. And then he sees me now being able to push weight, and he's like, fuck, man, I want to push some weight. So it's like that motivation is there. That drive is there. And that's really what inspired the theme for today's podcast, which is motivation. And where do you find your motivation? Because I feel like realistically now, I run this self-improvement podcast, but I haven't been on self-improvement for that long because I would be motivated for a brief second, a brief glimmer, and then the motivation would fade and I would go back into my old routine, my old patterns, my old way of thinking and being, and my old self. And I finally reached a point where I was like, I'm tired of being my old fucking self. I'm tired of being fucking average. I'm tired of doing regular things. I'm tired of looking for money and dead-end jobs and all this bullshit. I was like, the person I envisioned myself being was not the person I was acting as, was not the person I wanted to be in my present self. And that's quite simply because I didn't have the motivation or the drive to want to do it, because everything that motivated me, once I got it, that motivation left. And in hindsight, when that motivation left, what the fuck was I working for at that point? What was I doing anything for? And so in today's episode, I want to talk about motivation, what motivates you, and most importantly, what keeps you motivated once you get on the right path. Because I'm up here preaching self-improvement, but realistically, I'm not telling anybody or giving you guys good advice on how to get started on self-improvement or how to stay consistent and motivated with your self-improvement. It's like I'm up here telling you, be consistent, but I'm not fucking telling you how to stay consistent. I'm just like, consistency, some fluff word, consistency with a rainbow over it. Like fucking that episode of SpongeBob where he's like, imagination. I'm up here like, consistency, self-improvement, love yourself. But you're looking at me like, what are your fucking credentials, guy? How are you backing it up? But it's like, now I'm at a point in my self-improvement journey where I'm seeing the progress, I'm reaping the rewards, I'm being consistent, and I'm seeing where that's gotten me. And it started from a certain point of motivation, which I'll get into. And it's like, what's my motivation now? Which I'll also get into. So this episode is more so going to be about my self-improvement, what keeps me motivated, how you guys can stay motivated, and how to avoid a couple fucking mistakes that I made in my life. Because there's a fucking great quote that says, wise men learn from their mistakes, but smart men learn from the mistakes of others. And I don't want you guys to fall into the same patterns and the same bullshit that I went through to get to where I am now. Because if I would have started the consistency and the motivation and just the work ethic and the mindset that I have now, back when I was 18, 19, 20, I would not be in this circumstance that I'm in now. I love my life. I love where I'm at. But realistically, if I would have had the same mindset and the same drive and the same ambition, who knows where I could be? I could be in a fucking mansion somewhere. Realistically, I could be making so much more money. I could just be living a drastically different life if I would have just had that fucking mindset from the start, and it wasn't fleeting and it was consistent, and I could have the literally my dream body. I'm satisfied with my body now, but if I started what I'm doing now, my work ethic in the gym, the progress I'm making in the gym, if I started that when I was fucking 18, 19, I'd be a fucking Olympian right now. Like dead ass, bro. So for my younger listeners, I want you to start as soon as possible, man. And I need you guys to find a motivation, find a fire under your ass. Find the fucking fire that sparks and it's so fucking hot that it gets you up and going and you don't look back, man. Because fuck, man, I wish I did that when I was 18, 19. And like I said, I'm so grateful for the life I live now, the person I am now, and the person I'm becoming. And sometimes as people, you have to stop and realize that and take a deep breath and look around and appreciate, they say stop and smell the roses, appreciate the world around you, appreciate what you've done and how far you've come. But I know for a fact I could be so much further in my career, in my finances, in my physical evolution, in my mindset, who I am as a person if I would have started earlier. But it's like I didn't have that motivation earlier because all that motivation was fleeting. And with fleeting motivation comes fleeting consistency. Shortly follows it. You're not going to be consistent with anything. So I think realistically, my self-improvement journey started back in like 2018, 2019. But it wasn't so much self-improvement. It was more so spirituality. I really got into meditation. And that's when I realized the actual power of meditation. I remember I would go to my valet job, and then on my break, I would go down to my car, meditate on my 10-minute break, I would meditate for all 10 minutes. During my 30-minute break, if I couldn't fit it in my 10, I would meditate for like 15 to 20 minutes on my 30-minute break. But every day, work, break, meditate, come back up, work again. And if I couldn't get it on my shift, I would go home, meditate, go to school. I was going to Icon at the time. So I'd work, come home, meditate, go to school. And I truly grasped the power and I got the insight on how amazing meditation can be for you, because it boosted how comfortable I was with myself. It boosted the way I saw the world in a more positive aspect. I had a positive mindset. And with these positive mindsets, I formed better relationships at school. I formed better relationships with strangers. When I would go out, that was a big party phase for me in my life. When I would go to clubs, I didn't really have trouble talking to people because I was comfortable with myself. And that comfortability, I got to a point where I got so comfortable that I was like, oh, this is great. And then you stop meditating because you're like, life is great now. I don't need this anymore. How fucking idiotic, bro. As people, and not even as people, me, I'm an idiot, and I've done this so many times. You're going to see through the course of this story that I'm going to tell, through all these series of events, I get something, and then I'm like, I have it now, and then I stop doing everything that got me to that point. It's fucking ridiculous, and that's kind of the lessons I needed to get to where I am now. But anyways, I'm meditating consistently. I'm seeing all the positive side effects of meditation. I'm more present in my life. I'm a more positive person to be around. I'm bright, full of energy. I can talk to people. I'm really feeling myself. And I get to that point and I get a little too cocky with it. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. I get too cocky. I stop meditating, and then I go back to feeling shitty and feeling insecure and all. Everything I'd worked so hard for just kind of diminished because I neglected the one thing that got me there, you know? And that can be hard to realize sometimes. And so it got to a point in like 2018, 2019, where I would meditate for like 3 months, fall off for the next 3, meditate for 2 weeks, fall off for a month, meditate for a couple days consecutively, and then fall off. And like I said, patchy ass broken consistency, bro. The consistency of some buck ass teeth throwing up gang signs, bro. Literally like just patchy as fuck, holes everywhere, and there was no consistency. So the progress could have been exponential, and there was none. Another thing that motivates guys, and has been a big motivation for me throughout my life, and is a big motivation, quite frankly, let's be honest, to 99.9% of fucking dudes, is women, bro. And if you're a guy and you're like, no, I don't do the things I do to get women, bro. That's not what it's for. It's for myself. Like, yeah, it is for yourself. But to an extent, a lot of guys want to be better and want to do stuff, put a fucking dent into the world, quite simply to get the fucking attention from women, bro. To garner any sort of attention from women, to get to a point where they have the highest selection and they are in the highest dating pool of women, so they can pick the perfect mate for them, the perfect spouse. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why as guys we can't admit that. Like, literally one of the biggest motivators for guys is women. And that has been me my whole life. And I feel like in like 2018, 2019, when I was choppy on my meditation, I was really motivated by women, and that's why I was like, I want to be a music producer because I want that to be my career. But also, it's going to get me all the girls. I'm going to be playing all these parties. It's going to be sick as fuck. I'm going to be a traveling DJ, and like that's going to get me so many girls and all this stuff. It's like a lot of the things you do as a dude is quite simply to gain the attention of women, to gain that validation from women, and to know that you got it like that, bro. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that, truly. But that is also gives diminishing returns in a sense. In a sense, it gives diminishing returns because I got to a point where I was like confident with myself and happy, and I was in my party phase and scene. I could like talk to girls, I could go out, I could do the one night thing, and that was really the extent of my early 20s, man. Of my late teens, early 20s when I moved to LA. I didn't go to college. I never had a college experience. I never did the frat thing, and so I never really was put in an environment like that where you have a bunch of people that are your age and peers, where you can go out and party and get to know people and meet and form relationships like that. I moved to LA when I was 18 and just kind of got thrown into the fucking real world off the rip. So I had my college phase was going to clubs, going to bars, trying searching every nook and cranny to like hook up with girls or get girls. So I got really big into like one night stands and hookup culture and shit like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty successful, and I'm thankful for that period of my life because it, in a sense, it did teach me a lot. But I realized that the girls that I was getting at that time were not up to the caliber of women that I truly wanted. They were not the girls that I could see a long time future with. They were not the girls that I wanted to start a partnership with. They were not girls that I was truly, genuinely interested in. It was mainly I was banging out these girls to make myself feel better as some sort of ego boost, to boost my confidence. And it works while you're in the act of like hooking up with them, and then you have a slight glow for like the next day, but that got shallow and old over time. And then that motivation, which was women, fleeted because I wasn't getting the women that I wanted. I wasn't getting the extent of women that I wanted. And looking back now, why would I have been? Why would I have been getting that high caliber fucking model type beautiful girls that I wanted? Because I had nothing to fucking offer, bro. Because I wasn't, like I said, I was working out half-ass, wasn't buff. I didn't look amazing. I had a great personality, but a great personality doesn't get you through the fucking door to start talking to girls or to form a relationship or whatever. Like, I was ignoring and neglecting myself and my career and just a lot of things, and wondering, I wasn't putting in work, quite frankly, in any aspect of my life. Yeah, I was booking commercials and stuff, and I thought like, oh, I'm in this commercial, I'm going to get so many girls. Didn't happen. I was like, I just dropped this song. It gets like 3 fucking plays. You're like, I just dropped this song. It's fire. I worked fucking months on this track. The mix down's perfect. I'm going to release it. It's going to blow up. I'm going to get all these girls. You drop it. It gets 3 fucking plays, bro. It gets 3 fucking plays, and then you still ain't got no fucking mamitas, bro. You ain't got no mamitas. And I was like doing all this stuff, and I was like, man, why don't I have girls, you know? Because, bro, you're not fucking consistent, in anything. You're not putting in work, and you're not the person that you want to be. Truly, you are not to the standard that you want to be at. You're expecting everything to be given to you on a silver platter, and you're doing none of the fucking work to get there. And that's really kind of how my early 20s and my late teens went, bro. And it wasn't until I really jumped on self-improvement that everything kind of started clicking, and I was like, okay, what's the real motivation here? And this is kind of like the last little tidbit and story I'm going to tell, bro. I'll jump into it. At the start of 2021 of last year, that was one of the biggest depressions I ever went through in my life. So the start of 2021 hits, and I'm at a very low point in my life because I was feeling very lonely. It's kind of the middle of the pandemic. It's hard to meet girls in person, and I had never had a real relationship. I had never had anything, bro. I was feeling desperate. I was feeling lonely. I was feeling depressed. And at the time, I had a massive crush on my roommate at the time. And she was a chick, had a massive crush on her, but I didn't want to shit where I eat. I was like, I don't even want to pursue that. I don't want anything to happen there. So what are my other options? And I looked around, and I didn't have any fucking options, bro. I had 0 girls that were interested in me. I would reach out, DM some girls, get left on red, or get some sort of short, dumbass response. And I was like, all right, if I want to attract a relationship, if I want to attract a partner, I have to think of everything I would want out of a potential partner and become that. And so at the start of 2021 is when I really started going to the gym for real. I would say that's since high school, out of my 7-8 years of working out not consistently, but just working out, that was the first time where I was like, oh, I understand this gym shit. That's when I took the time to really study it, educate myself, and I learned about progressive overload. I learned about compound lifts. I learned about all this stuff. So inevitably, when I was consistently going to that and finally for once in my life taking it serious, I started seeing serious results. I started seeing progress. I also said, I'm depressed. How can I help this? I got back into meditating. I thought about the person I was back in 2019 that I told you about, where I was like, I dipped my toes into meditation. I said, that was the happiest I was mentally. That was the best I felt mentally. Let's bring that back. So I started meditating every day. I would wake up, meditate, go to the gym, come back, eat all fucking day, work on music. I was like, what makes me happy? Music, my ambitions, my goals, my aspirations. So I'd meditate, work out, come home, eat a fuck ton of food because I'm trying to get big, work on music. I started doing all the things that were attractive. I started doing all the things that made me feel better. I started doing all of the self-improvement. And from January to March, I was resilient, relentless. I was doing that shit nonstop. And that was the first time in my life where I saw results from self-improvement. And with that, at the end of March, I took a trip to Florida with my roommate because we were like fucking best friends, bro. So we traveled to Florida, and I remember she was telling me, she's like, yeah, I don't know how you're going to handle it. She was kind of like nervous for me because we were going to the fucking sticks of Florida. Honky tonk, middle of bumfuck nowhere, Florida, where everybody's fucking shooting ARs and drinking Coors Light and listening to country music. And that's not my vibe at all. And so my roommate was nervous for me. But once I got there, because I had been doing the work, I looked good. I felt good. Mentally, I was sharp. I was good. And I was starting to love myself. And so because I had that energy and that love for myself, I was dishing that out to everybody else. And God damn it, the middle of honky tonk Florida fucking fell in love with me. And I fell in love with those motherfuckers, bro. And I was living and acting from genuine, authentic expression, acting from a genuine place in my heart and a person that I was, because it was genuine. That was me, because I was doing all that self-improvement shit. And it was on that trip that my roommate ended up liking me. And that's the girl I wanted from the start. And we hooked up at the end of that trip, came back to fucking LA. We were like, we shouldn't be doing this. We're roommates. But God, inside of me, that's the girl I wanted from the start. So we didn't stop. We kept hooking up, started dating. And she told me later on, she was like, yeah, I started liking you on that Florida trip because I saw a side of you that I had never seen before. And it was that self-improvement side. She said, I saw how charismatic you were with everybody. I saw how easygoing you were. You didn't bitch about anything. You had fun. You were fun to be around. You were empathetic, loving, just all this stuff. And she's like, and that's what attracted me to you. What attracted her to me was those 3 months of nonstop resilient self-improvement. And then when we got in the relationship, what happened? Because that was my motivation. That was my motivation at that time to start my self-improvement, was to get a girlfriend or get her to be my girlfriend. And then when I bagged her, what was the motivation after that? There was no fucking motivation. I got exactly what I wanted. And I feel like a lot of people do this once they get something they want. You get complacent and you get too comfortable. That's why you see a lot of people in relationships, fucking guys, girls, we're both guilty of this. You look amazing. You have an incredible physique. Your hygiene's on point. You're taking care of yourself because you want to attract a mate. You want to attract a partner. And then you get a partner and you see guys start to let themselves go. They get the dad bod. They go from six-pack to dad bod. Girls start getting a little chunky. They let themselves go. Guys start skipping a shower or two. You start skipping a workout or two. You start eating like shit. And that over time compounds. You got too comfortable being with somebody in this relationship. You got too comfortable in a relationship. And then what happens? The relationship usually ends because that's not the person you fell in love with. That's not the person you liked from the start. That's not the person that you were attracted to. You are not what was promised when we got into this relationship. And that's exactly what happened in my last one, man. From January to March, every day on top of my shit, making sure I was the best version of myself. I bagged the girl, the mate that I wanted. And what happened? I got it now. I don't need to do any work. That person I was for those 3 months, that's the idea that she took into the relationship. That's what she expected from the relationship. And once I bagged her, I didn't give her any of that. I started skipping workouts. And then eventually I stopped going to the gym altogether. I got the girl. I'm so happy. This is my first relationship. I'm doing all the relationship things and I'm learning so much and doing all this stuff. I'm spending all my time and energy and focus on her. I'm not making music anymore. Stop making music for the entirety of 2021. I did not make a single fucking song, bro. I did not do anything except in those first 3 months. I made a couple songs, but past that, I didn't fucking make music in 2021. Same with meditation. I got the girl. I feel happy. I'm in love. It's ecstasy. All this shit. Stop meditating. I feel so great now. It's not gonna go away. Oh, it went away, buddy. And it's because I stopped meditating. By the end of our relationship, bro, I had a fucking dad bod. I wasn't going to the gym. I was smoking nonstop, vaping non-fucking stop, bro. I was a nicotine fiend and I was a borderline alcoholic, bro. What was there to be attracted to? I wasn't the person that I wanted to be with in a relationship. So why the fuck would she want to be with that? What the fuck was I offering? How was I making her life or my life any better? I wasn't, because I abandoned myself. And that's one thing that motivated me to get to where I am now, is that I learned my lesson from that relationship to never abandon yourself. Because eventually when that shit fucking crashed and burned and she left and my whole world was fucking shattered, I lost every aspect of myself, and I had abandoned myself in that relationship, trying to cater to her needs or to keep the relationship afloat or whatever the fuck it was, that I abandoned myself. And so when circumstances changed and she was gone, what did I have left? Nothing. I didn't even have myself, because like I said, I jumped ship on my own mental health, well-being, physical health, everything about me, bro. I was lost in that relationship. So when the relationship ended, what the fuck did I have left? Nothing. Which is where I got the motivation to get me to where I am today, was from the death of that relationship, because that was truly the death of an old me. And I said, hey man, I'm at a very low point. I don't like where I'm at. I tanked this fucking relationship. I don't want to be that guy anymore. I want to be better for future relationships and for myself. Most importantly, for myself. It was time to make myself the main character of my fucking movie again. And that's where the motivation came from to get me to where I am now, bro. It sucks that for a lot of people's self-improvement journey, you will not actually make a significant change in your life. Most people will not make a significant change in their life or want to change their mindset and make any major positive change that will absolutely impact their life until they have gone through some sort of catastrophic event. Until they have, in my case, breakup/divorce, loss of a loved one, personal health issue that is devastating or can lead to potentially death, life-threatening illness is what I'm saying. Like, it takes some sort of catastrophic event in people's lives to make them want to wake up and make a fucking change. And I'm glad mine was just a breakup, because I will never lose myself in any relationship again. I will never turn my back on myself again, but I'm going to make sure with everything in my power to be the best version of myself. And so, like I said, I started working out. I started meditating. I was like, man, what else can I do? Cut out alcohol to an extent. I'm not going to lie. There was a period after that relationship where I was heavily drinking, and this didn't help at all. This was kind of like the icing on the cake. That relationship ended. I was heavily drinking. I was vaping like a motherfucker. I wasn't doing a lot of drugs, but if drugs were around, I wasn't afraid to do them. I'll just leave it at that, because my parents listen to this podcast. And I was having a lot of casual, meaningless sex with girls I didn't even know. And that was after that breakup. And that just brought me to a much lower point than I already was. And I was like, I'm not finding happiness. I'm not finding success. I'm not finding self-love in any of these things. And then that's when I really started the self-improvement journey. That's when I really started, all right, fucking gym, eat, sleep, gym, repeat, eat, sleep, meditate, repeat, eat, sleep, music, repeat. I wrote like fucking 4 or 5 songs that are all going to come out soon during that period in my life. And then eventually the motivation went from be the best version of yourself, because I never want to be this fucking low again in my life. I never want to feel this shitty again in my life. I started that year depressed as fuck, went peaked in that relationship, because I was like, oh, I'm in a relationship, I'm so in love, peak happiness, and then lower than where I started the fucking year. In hell. The bar was in hell. And the good thing about being at the lowest point in your life, the only place you can go is up. The only low, literally you can only go up from there. So I start doing the self-improvement. Everything that in the past in my life had proven to work. And I was like, the one thing that wasn't basically consistent in the past was the consistency, was the motivation, because I got what I wanted and then I abandoned ship. I got what I wanted, I abandoned ship. What do I want now? I want to love myself. I want to love my life. I don't want to feel like a piece of garbage. How can I do that? I can start by crafting new passions to healthily entertain and get my mind off my ex, my relationship, my depression, my anxiety, whatever. So I started this podcast. Like I said, I'd wanted to start this podcast forever. The new year came around. I started the fucking podcast because I was like, well, fuck it. Let's do it. Like, what do we got to lose? Let's fucking do it. And then I started the podcast. I didn't have an agent, bro. I fucking literally lost my agent last year, one of the best agents in LA. And I didn't even bat an eye because I was like, oh, I could take a break. I had been doing that. My fucking bread and butter, what was paying the bills for the past who knows how many fucking years. I didn't even wince an eye at it, at that big fucking loss, because I was like, I'm in love. Fuck that, bro. Fuck that. So I was like, let's get my finances back in order. Let's start making money again. Got a new agent this year. Started the podcast. Started going to the gym. Went from a fucking malnourished 145 to almost 180 pounds now. Pushing. I'm at like 174, 175, but it's like balling, but the shit don't stop. Balling, but the shit don't stop. I'm looking around me at all the fucking progress I've made in the past 6 months, bro. Because realistically, I've been on my self-improvement journey for about 6 months. But I'm looking at all the progress I've made, and this really didn't hit me until I posted this shit the other day on Twitter. And I just kind of want to read it to you guys because I saw that and I was like, man, I really went from 0 to 100 real fucking quick. And that, at the end of the day, on the topic of motivation, is what is continuing to motivate me, is because I'm seeing real results. And I'm seeing real results in the world around me, but in myself. And I like and love the person I am now and the person I'm becoming. And I'm thankful for the versions of me that got me to where I am now. I'm thankful for the version of me that was in that relationship. I'm thankful for the version of me that was partying and clubbing and only thinking about girls back in the day. I'm thankful for the version of me that was dipping my toes into meditation back in 2019, 18. I'm thankful for all those versions of me because I had to go through all of those trials and tribulations to learn and acknowledge the things that I know now. So I can put these things really into play, into perspective in my life today. In this fucking picture that I posted, man, it was some basic ass douchey gym selfies where I got my shirt off right after a workout and I'm looking fucking like a shredded sitcom, bro. I'm looking good. And I was just kind of looking back on the past 6 months, looking back on how far I've come. But in this picture, I posted the gym selfies, the tool selfies. And I said, I was down horrendous at the end of last year, but use that as motivation. And genuinely, that was the motivation at the start, was be the best version of yourself. Because what do you want in a partner? Well, like, this is so cliche and people say it all the time. What do you want in a partner? Think of all those things and become it. Think of everything you want in a partner and become it. The partner I was in my last relationship is someone I'd never want to be with personally. So I had to change that. I had to become somebody that I would want to be with. I had to become somebody that I could love, that I wanted to fall in love with. And that's exactly what the fuck I'm doing now. And I'm happy I'm doing that because, like I said, it has made my current relationship so much healthier. When I went out the other day in San Diego to see my Slong Dongs, bro, Dario, I'm just catching up with him because the last time I really touched base with him was in 2019, 2018 when I was on my stupid party club phase, going out, hooking up, trying to slip and slime every mommy in my vicinity and just living that degenerate life, man. And now that he sees me where I am now, we were having a conversation, him, me, and my girl, and he looked at my girl and he was like, damn, you're lucky. And she was like, why? And he's genuinely, he was like, you got the best version of this man I've ever seen. You literally got the best of this man right now. You're lucky. Good for you. And I was like, took no offense. That was the biggest compliment because I was like, he's fucking right, dude. The person I am is someone that I would want to be with because my work ethic, my drive, my ambition, everything is there. I'm putting in all the right pieces in motion to get to where I want to be. And I'm satisfied with the person I am. And I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I have such a supportive girl now and such a healthy relationship now. And that really, like, I know I say this a lot, but like my girl truly is my favorite person that I hang out with. Like she's my favorite person in my life currently. And that's because she is so supportive of all my endeavors. She has seen me. I'll go into this, but she has seen me. Literally, she caught me at a time where I was like super low and kind of dipping my toes into self-improvement to where I am now. And I'm only growing and I'm only wanting to be better. not just for her, but for myself, for the world around me. I want to live a life that I love, and I'm getting there. And this girl has seen that whole evolution and that whole growth. And the best part is I'm not stopping. I have the girl now. And my girl's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's everything I could fucking want. But I'm not abandoning myself in the process like I did with my last relationship. I still go to the gym every day. There's times where my girl wants to hang out and I'm like, no, I'm going to the gym. Like, and I don't say that in an asshole way. She knows that I am on my fucking grind, on my path, and that I'm not stopping anymore, bro. But let's talk about this. I said, was down horrendous at the end of last year, but use that as motivation to quit drinking, vaping, smash PRs in the gym, start a podcast, release on a label this Friday, which was Pieces. If you haven't heard it, check it out. And book my first commercial through my new agency. Focusing on myself was the best thing I could have done. And once I started just kind of looking back and reminiscing on all the accolades that I've made in this short amount of 6 months, you don't know how much your life and your mindset can drastically change in 6 months. If you hunker down and do the fucking work and be consistent and stay motivated, dude. Because like I said, my motivation in my younger days was girls. When I was super depressed, it was a specific girl. I got that girl, the motivation fleeted. What was my motivation afterwards? I didn't have anything fucking left. I didn't even have myself. I had nothing. My motivation was to work up to something, to feel anything, to feel like me again. And then I got there, and now what's the motivation? What's the motivation, bro? I'm seeing the progress and the results, and I know what it's like to abandon myself, but I don't know what it's like to stay consistent. And now that I'm reaping the rewards and reaping the benefits of this self-improvement, and I look, in my opinion, the best I've ever looked in my life. I feel the best I've ever felt. I feel more confident. I feel more social. I feel just engaging and in love with myself and my life and my relationship, my girl, my friends. Like, all the pieces are clicking into place. I'm making money again, doing shit I love and commercials. I'm releasing music consistently, bro. I've released more music this year than I did all of last year. I've released more music in the past 4 months than I did in all 12 fucking months of 2021. That's how much I abandoned myself in one single year, bro. And I don't want you guys to ever do that. I don't ever want you guys to abandon yourself, bro. I abandoned my music. I abandoned my acting. I abandoned I abandoned health and fitness. I abandoned literally everything. And I was just fucking, I got a girlfriend and I'm drinking and I'm vaping and I have a shit relationship, mostly on my end, rocky ass relationship. And I'm wondering why. You're not fucking doing anything, bro. And I wish I could go back to myself a year ago and slap the fuck out of myself and be like, don't give up on yourself. Don't get too comfortable. Don't get complacent, because that's a year of my life I can never get back. But if I was grinding that whole time, bro, who knows where I could have been now? If I was grinding since 2018, when I was just focused simply on slipping and sliming mommies, who knows where I could be now, bro? But all that matters is that I'm here now with the mindset and the knowledge that I've accumulated through the years and the self-improvement. And like I just read off to you guys, that was a fat fucking list. I look amazing. I'm booking shit. I got a new fucking agent, bro. Another thing I want to talk about is your mindset. My agent, when I walked into his office, he was like, I don't like the hair. Personally, I don't think it's going to book. And I was like, you give me 10% of your trust and I'll win the 90%. I'll win the other 90%. He was like, okay, I'm going to give you 2 months. If you don't book anything, you're going to have to switch the hair up. First fucking audition he sent me, I booked it, bro. I'm working this Wednesday. I'm not going to say what, because that's usually like NDA shit, but I'm literally filming and shooting a commercial this Wednesday that I booked with this hair. But is it the hair? No, dude. It's the confidence, the mindset, all the self-improvement shit that I've been doing to truly fall in love with the person I am, that has gotten me to the point where it's like, fuck the hair. I could be bald and I still would have booked that shit, because I was so confident and comfortable with myself and the things I'm tackling in life, bro, that it's like, I need you guys to be motivated enough to just do the work, man. And like I said, for the fellas, girls are a great motivation, but girls is not everything. On a much deeper level, the motivation has to come within. The fire has to be much bigger than just girls. Because like I said, I have an amazing, beautiful girl now. And don't get me wrong, she does motivate me to do a lot of things. But the motivation is past getting a girl. I have a girl. I love my girl. I'm in a relationship. The motivation is past that. The girls are no longer the motivation for me. The motivation for me, I crack this joke to my girl all the time. I want to be the biggest, the baddest, and the best. And that might sound, oh, that sounds conceited or selfish or whatever. I don't give a fuck, bro. I want to be the biggest, the baddest, and the best. And at the end of the day, I'm competing not only with myself, but with other people that I see doing it. And then I'm like, how the fuck did they get there? And then I really sit down and I break it down. Oh, they've been doing this much longer than I have. They were consistent. They stayed motivated. They found motivation and remained motivated and kept that motivation, that spark, that grind alive to get them to where they're at. And I applaud that. I commend that. I love that. And that's what I want to do for myself. I truly want to transform my life. And I'm thankful for all the experiences in my life that have gotten me here. I'm truly thankful for everything in my life that has gotten me here, but I'm not fucking letting up anytime soon, bro. Because like I said earlier in the podcast, I'm tired of being average. I've made it far as fuck in my life, and I only want to make it further because the person I picture myself being, I'm closer now than I ever was. I'm closer now than I ever was, but I'm not quite fucking there yet. And I'm going to keep striving, keep staying motivated, and keep pushing. And my motivations are no longer materialistic and surface level. And my motivations are no longer like, I want a girlfriend or this. Fuck that, bro. I want to create and live the best life for myself. Because when I am happy in the life that I'm living and I'm confident and I'm comfortable, that's when you can truly be present and give back to those around you. That's when you can really, truly love and give and show empathy and do all that, because the hard work has paid off, man. You're living the life of your dreams, and you're going to be so much more just at peace and comfortable with your life that you can truly love and give back to others. And I'm not saying don't love and give back now. Always be empathetic, always be loving, always be that. But at a certain point, you have to put yourself first, man. Truly, you have to put yourself fucking first. And it's taken me my whole fucking 25 years to realize that. But now I'm putting myself first, man. And it's relentless. It's resilient. Relentless and resilient. The mindset and the work ethic and the ambition and the drive that I have now, Brand. And I'm not letting up. And I'm excited. In just 6 months, everything I read off to you happened in just 6 months. What's going to happen in the next 6? What's going to happen in a year and a half? What's going to happen in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? If I stay consistent with this motivation, this mindset, my work ethic, I keep booking, believing in myself, trusting, meditating, staying positive, doing all the work, all the self-improvement work. If all that I just fucking read to you happened in 6 months, what's going to happen in 10 years? What the fuck's going to happen in 10 years? It's the compound effect. And I want you guys to start now, man. I need you guys to start now and learn from my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes. Don't get complacent. Don't get comfortable. Don't abandon yourself in any sort of relationship, in any sort of endeavor. Because at the end of the day, when everything falls apart and everybody leaves you, what do you have left? It's your fucking self, dude. It's yourself. And you have to be able to pick yourself up, realize your worth, and realize that, yeah, I know what I'm worth, and be humble enough to be like, but I'm nowhere there. I'm not quite there yet. I'm going to work to evolve into my worth and be the person I know I can fucking be. But you have to be motivated and you have to be consistent. Thank you for coming to my fucking TED Talk, bro. Thank you for coming to my fucking TED Talk. I think that's where I'm going to wrap the podcast, man. As always, bro, I'm sending love and positive energy your way. Mwah. Stay motivated. Stay consistent. And just know, even when you're in the depths of hell, the only place you can go is up. You can hit up your Floral Father if you want if you want to know any more, or you want me to go in depths, you want to hear anything else, or you just need help, love, support. You know, your Floral Father's got you. So, bye, guys. Bye. Have a beautiful night and a wonderful day and a lovely life. And be attractive and be somebody that people want to fall in love with, but most importantly, that you want to fall in love with. Goodbye.